Most people think brushing is simple, but the truth is, even tiny mistakes can quietly destroy your teeth. You can brush every day and still be headed for cavities, gum recession, even tooth loss. In this video, I reveal the 7 biggest brushing mistakes people make, starting with the one I see almost every single day in my patients. I can promise you, mistake number 7 flips everything you thought you knew about brushing completely upside down. Let's start with the most common and most damaging mistake. And I have to be honest with you, I've fallen victim to this myself. Before I got into dentistry, no one ever told me that brushing too hard could be harmful. I thought I was just being thorough. But today, I actually have gum recession on my upper left molars, right on the cheek side. And here's the thing, that's permanent damage. Once gum tissue is gone, you can never bring it back. All I can do now is make sure it doesn't get worse. And that's why I want to start here, because brushing too hard is the most common and potentially most damaging mistake people make. More pressure means cleaner teeth feels right, but it's wrong. Harder brushing doesn't remove more plaque, it removes enamel. Let me explain. Too much pressure scrapes away enamel layer by layer, and enamel doesn't regenerate. So once it's gone forever. And as that protective layer thins, sensitivity starts. Cold drinks or even breathing in cold air can hurt. Over time, your gums begin to recede from the trauma, and that exposes dentin, which is much softer than enamel. Exposed dentin then wears down even faster, creating those V-shaped notches you often see near the gum line. And the harder you brush, the deeper they get. So how to fix this? Use the 2-finger rule. Hold your brush with just your thumb and index finger. If you need more grip to control it, you're pressing too hard. With an electric toothbrush, guide it, don't grind it. If your brush has a pressure light, the goal is to never trigger it. And watch for the red flags like V-shaped notches at the gum line, sudden cold sensitivity, or gums that look like they're creeping up on certain teeth. So if pressure is what destroys enamel, the next question is, what kind of brush actually cleans without scraping it away? Well, that brings us to the mistake number 2, using hard bristles. They feel effective, but they're basically like sandpaper on enamel. Hard bristles abrade enamel and irritate gums. Did you know that soft bristles actually clean better because they flex into those tiny spaces without grinding the surface? Just think about washing your car. You'd never use a steel wool on paint because it scratches the surface. You use a soft brush that reaches every corner and leaves the surface shiny and scratch-free. So go with soft or extra soft bristles and a small brush head. It's much easier to angle along the gum line and reach those back molars. So electric or manual? Both can work. Electric helps with consistent micro motions and built-in timers. Manual requires more technique. And skip whitening bristles or toothpastes as they can be highly abrasive. You can have the perfect toothbrush, but if you aim it wrong, it's almost useless. And that's mistake number 3. Most people brush straight across their teeth like they're scrubbing a countertop. The problem? Plaque doesn't leave on the flat middle surface. It hides right at the gum line. If your brush isn't angled correctly, the bristles just glide over that margin, leaving the biofilm untouched. And that's the danger zone, where cavities start and where gum inflammation begins. You can brush every day, but if you miss that seam, bacteria are still thriving right under your gums. So tilt your brush at a 45-degree angle toward the gums. Use short, gentle micro vibrations or tiny circles. You're trying to disrupt the biofilm, not sand down your teeth. Think of it like this. Gently sweep the seam where the tooth meets the gum. Then, roll the bristles down the surface to lift that loosened plaque away. That's the exact spot where the bacteria that cause bleeding and cavities hide. Get that angle wrong, and you could brush for hours and still end up with inflamed gums. You can have the perfect angle and technique, but if you don't brush long enough, it's all wasted. And that's the next mistake almost everyone does. Rushing. Most people brush for only 30 to 45 seconds, not even quarter the time they actually need. Plaque isn't dust you can just swipe away. It's a sticky biofilm. And the only way to break it down is time on surface. If you brush for less than 2 minutes, whole patches of plaque stay untouched. And here's the real problem. Within just 24 or 48 hours, that leftover film hardens into tartar. And tartar can't be brushed away. Once it forms, only a dentist can remove it. Follow the 30 seconds per quadrant rule. Upper right, upper left, lower right. Start with the areas you usually miss, the inside of your lower front teeth and the cheek side of your upper molars. And if timing feels annoying, just use an electric brush with a built-in pacer. It will handle the timing for you automatically. But here's the shocking part. Even if you brush for the full 2 minutes, if you do it right after eating, you might actually be dissolving your enamel instead of protecting it. This is a rule almost nobody knows. Never brush right after having something acidic. Things like soda, juice, coffee, wine, even many so-called healthy foods. Acid temporarily softens enamel by pulling minerals like calcium and phosphate out of the surface. If you brush during that window, it's like polishing wet paint. You're literally scrubbing away the softened enamel before it has a chance to harden again. So wait about 30 minutes before brushing so your saliva can naturally rebalance the pH and restore those minerals. During that time, rinse with water or even swish a bit of milk. It helps neutralize the acids faster. Don't want to wait half an hour every time you eat? There's a 5-minute hack I use every single day. I'll show you that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about another silent enamel killer most people don't even think about. And this is using the same toothbrush for way too long. I've seen people use one brush for 6 months, even a year. The problem? Once the bristles start fraying, they stop cleaning. Instead of scrubbing plaque away, they just fold over it, especially along the gum line where it matters the most. And there's another issue. All toothbrushes can actually turn into bacteria farms. So replace your brush every 3 months or sooner if the bristles start to bend. After you've been sick, swap it right away. Store it upright, uncovered, and let it air dry. Because if you keep it inside a closed container while it's still wet, bacteria will multiply fast. It's basically a warm sauna for bacteria to grow in. Now for the 5-minute acid hack, the one that saves me 25 minutes every single day, I use this literally after every meal. So after every meal, I use xylitol gum or pastilles. And this one simple habit makes a huge difference. Here's why it works. It boosts saliva to neutralize acids faster, stops cavity-causing bacteria since they can't use it for energy, and lets me brush again in just 5 minutes instead of waiting half an hour. Just chew xylitol gum for 5 minutes after meals or snacks, and you're good to go. Now for the most overlooked mistake. The one that explains persistent bad breath and mystery plaque even in people who brush perfectly every day. The final mistake, and one almost everyone makes, is only brushing what you see in the mirror. But the truth is, the hidden surfaces matter even most. I'm talking about the inner sides of your teeth and especially your tongue. They are prime real estate for bacteria and sulfur compounds that cause bad breath. When you skip them, you're leaving behind the main source of odor, plus a hidden plaque reservoir that keeps reinfecting your mouth no matter how well you brush the front. So right after brushing, use a tongue scraper. Center, left, right. 1 or 2 slow passes each from back to front. If you have a strong gag reflex, here's the trick. Stick your tongue out and exhale as you scrape. It instantly calms the reflex. And don't forget the inner surfaces of your teeth, especially behind the lower front teeth, where saliva naturally releases the most minerals. That's why plaque tends to harden into tartar there faster than anywhere else. If this video helped you, hit like. It really supports the channel and tells YouTube this video was worth watching. And if you want healthier teeth, fresher breath, and a smile you're proud of, subscribe right now. And watch this next video right here. I'm sure you'll like it.